We begin the demo of the Graphol language for ontologies by importing the custom Graphol palette into the DIAG editor in order to have all Graphol nodes and edges available for creating our ontology. Let's build an ontology together. First, we define a class person through a concept node, and then an object property is owner of through a role with its domain and range restriction nodes. Then, in order to define the domain of the object property is owner of as the class person and the range as the class car, we use inclusion edges to link the domain restriction nodes of the is owner of object property to the person class and the range restriction node of the object property to the car class. Now, using an inclusion edge and a new concept node, we define a subclass of person called car maniac, and we want to say that a car maniac must be an owner of at least 4 cars. So we build the minimum cardinality restriction on the is owner of object property through a domain restriction node, and qualify it on car by linking it also to the car concept node by using an input edge from car to the domain restriction node, and we define an inclusion between car maniac and the cardinality restriction. Finally, we introduce a data property age. We want to define its domain as person and also say that each person has an age. Therefore, we use the inclusion edge with arrows on both sides to define the two inclusions. We also want to define age as a functional data property. So we choose the special functionality input edge between the attribute node and the domain node. We also define the range of the attributes as the integer data type by linking the range node to the integer data type node. Now we use the Graphol to tool to generate an ontology in all functional syntax from our Graphol ontology. We choose the Graphol ontology we have just created. We define an appropriate IRI, a prefix, and finally choose the output OWL file. The tool generates a proper OWL ontology which can be imported into the popular Protégé ontology editor, from which we can inspect the ontology and perform reasoning tasks over it. Now let's see how the translator tool behaves if the Graphol ontology is not properly formed. In this first example, we try to define the inverse of a concept, which is forbidden in OWL. When we load the ontology in the tool and try to translate it, it will inform us of the specific kind of error. It will also ask if we want to see it in the diagram. Choosing yes will open the diagram in the web browser, highlighting where the error took place. Let's try another example. Here we define an inclusion relation between a concept and a role. This is obviously also a mistake, and the translator will inform us of this. Both the translator tool and the Graphol palette for DIAG are available for download on the Graphol website. Thank you and enjoy Graphol.